All right. So who's been on the battlefield? All right. Who has been in such a stressful environment that you can't find your peace? For some, that happens in a foreign country. For others, it happens in the neighborhood they've never left. We have an epidemic of people escaping their reality in the easiest way they know how. And it's costing us our humanity. We have people who don't have shelter. And the dis-ease of the mind is running rampant. We have people in stress and struggle to exist on like every level of life. All right. And it's not natural. It might be normal, but it's not natural. And if we're going to honor those who have come before us and paved the pathways to where we are right now, we need to learn from our experiences what works and what doesn't. And if the opposite of stress is ease, if we're in stress, we're in dis-ease. And dis-ease of the mind will want to be distracted by the body in all sorts of ways. And so when the body and the mind is choosing distraction from the dis-ease, it tends to suffer consequences for living in stress. And stress is a choice because it's a life that has been shaped in a way that is very expensive and very controlling. And little decisions made in lots of directions has created the experience that people are having. And when many people do it a certain way, you end up with cities, or you end up with cultures. And they're often being shaped by the idols broadcasted over the masses on television programming. You know, if it's normal, everybody's doing it. We have to ask ourselves, but does it make sense? Is it working towards what are four foundation items that you want in your life? If you could make a wish right now, what would they be? For me, I use my free will to choose health, happiness, peace, and abundance. And if I can be aware of my right now moments where I'm making these choices, I can shape my world from how I live it. You know, I lived in an area when I lived in Albuquerque called the War Zone. And it seems that every city has something similar. I mean, if you're over, 50 to 100,000 people in a city, you've got an area of town that it's kind of dangerous to live in. And it was still expensive, and it really sucked. But that was a choice that I made. Nobody forced me to choose to rent that apartment. I mean, if I was aware and open-minded enough to options that other people choose, I would have bought a van and lived in it down by the river. Because that makes sense. I mean, if I go out camping every night and then go to the gym in the morning and take a shower and drop off the dinner from the night before, use the Wi-Fi for a little bit, the massage, maybe the pool, right? then I go do my day, and then I go for a nice little drive again and go camping again and do that all the time. I don't think I'd be in stress, because that's what I'm capable of doing now. I mean, like, this is a camper van, right? that I'm in right now. So if I really wanted to be somewhere else, I could just go somewhere else. But in a city, you've got a lot of people living in an apartment that costs a lot of money every month. And all of the resources that or utilities that you use, well, they're expensive, very expensive. And it doesn't have to be, but it is. I mean, we're living in the age of technology where, I mean, it really shouldn't cost us anything it shouldn't cost us anything to live. We're the only species on the planet that pays to exist. We pay somebody somewhere else on every level for everything, because that's the way it's been advertised to us in a culture of beliefs and authority of somebody somewhere else because they said so. But if we honor free will in others as we would want the free will of ourselves honored, we don't push our will on other people. And just because somebody has a title and a badge or a costume, that doesn't mean they have authority over you when you've harmed no one. But that's what we have now. We have people in stress and struggle. They're using distractions like alcohol, or I can't really tell. I think that I get deplatformed if I use all these words that I'm trying to use here today. But there's a lot of people distracting themselves with things that are causing them to leave this life experience prematurely, right? Sometimes they're intending to. Sometimes they're doing it on purpose. And that's really sad, because that's a person who doesn't know the options that exist beyond the advertising. I mean, I know poor people that are really, really, really poor. I mean, they don't have more than a couple dollars, but they're happy. I mean, they haven't lived in a house for a long time, and they're happily homeless because, well, that's freedom. I've been around this world twice, and there's so much to explore outside where you are right now that if you don't at least explore it, how do you know where your favorite place is? And your favorite way of doing things, and things that would help you wake up in the morning wanting to wake up, getting to do things instead of having to do things. That's the biggest epidemic we're at right now, is stress. Because when a person feels secure and they're out of struggle, that's when they can start to thrive and they can start to grow. Because when I was drinking way too much, way too often, and I was paying a lot of money to exist on every level, I was stressed out. And it nearly killed me. And which, I mean, a lot of other people it has, right? I mean, I know of a friend who just lost her older brother. Not because of old age or poor lifestyle choices. Because a drunk driver ran into him and killed him. He just started, he was, I think he's almost 70, but he just started a new business. I mean, he wasn't the kind of guy sitting around on the couch, watching reruns of Bob Barker. This guy was out there building a life. He realized that these numbers that we're given are not they're not restrictions unless we make them into that. I know a 93-year-old lady who just ran a 5K. So, I mean, she just 90, I think she's 93. But she's running more than many 30-year-olds or 20-year-olds are running. We've got a generation of kids who can't even walk around out in the forest. It's too expensive. Right? I mean, you can't go hiking. Yeah, did you get your Discovery Pass? Yeah. The governor, he tax you to go visit the forest so you can have a paved parking spot. I'll tell you what, I don't give a shit about a paved parking spot. I don't really care about that. I don't care if you put up fences and provide a picnic table. I'm not using it anyway. So don't charge me to use the forest. We're living in a world that has created people who aren't self-responsible. And then through that, we've had to control people through the use of the state, the government. But when we start holding individuals accountable for what they do, which is how nature works naturally for everyone everywhere, except people that are living in cities, and there's some real problems, right? I mean, the dangerous people are being protected by the police, right? They're putting them in the penitentiaries, in the jails, where they're getting tattoos for exchanging their ho-hos. They can have jobs. They don't have to put up with they don't have to raise their kids. They don't have to, the state's doing that in the daycare centers, These guys are being let out likely to reoffend because they're not being taught how to be self-responsible, being held accountable. Those that need to be held accountable are also our public servants, because if they're operating outside of their boundaries in any way, if they're violating your human rights, that is treason. And that should not be handled in a way that it could be handled but we need to stop supporting it. Where our money and attention goes is really important for us to decide. What if only good ideas were being supported? People that everything people would agree on, right? I mean, I want roads that are, decent, that we're not beating up our car if we're trying to, get from point A to point B. That'd be nice. And I'd like opportunities to educate myself on all the topics that I'd like to explore. And if my community helped me do that, that would be awesome. But is the system working? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Is the system working? And it is working. It's working to make some money for a limited number of people at the expense of the many. But is it working? With so many highly intelligent, or at least highly educated people, why are there still so many problems that are relatively easy to solve? I mean, with people, you just have to remove the stress, help them find calmness and peace in their life, and then they don't want to punch their neighbor, right? And if they realize that they could have a mobile home, a mobile shelter, and they found that preferable to the apartment um, that damn apartment manager still won't fix the toilet. It runs all night. Oh my God. The people next door, they are always fighting. And if their dog won't shut up, I'm going to just, oh my God, I need another beer. Oh my God. These people outside revving their engines, why are they doing that? Oh my God. They took my parking spot again, right? Or go out and park next to the river. I don't know if you can see. Oh, there's too many clouds. Can't see the stars. But the city's way over there. But it's way peaceful over here. It's way cheaper. It's way more free. I can do anything I want up here. I was building a rock wall naked yesterday because I was in an area nobody could really see me, and so I figured why not? Because the sun was out and I was really hot, and that's what an animal would do, is they'd strip down as far as they can. Oh yeah, they wouldn't be wearing clothes, right? Yeah, we're just sissies most of the time, right? Anyway, the the people that are they're called the woke, right? The woke are aware of the problems, but yet they're not aware of the solutions. So they're freaking out because there's problems, right? And there's a lot of problems. I mean, there is. I mean, if we look at it honestly, um, there's a lot of problems that need to be addressed. But the good part is there are solutions to these problems. And I mean, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to talk on this. The memory keeps failing me. But there's solutions to all the problems: fire, flood, erosion, drought, famine, and homelessness, all easily solved. Finding peace in your life, respecting each other, that's all actually pretty easy to do. And I teach that through a method. Well, I don't teach it. I help you remember. I help you remember what calmness feels like. You once you feel it, you remember. You're like, oh, this is the way I'm supposed to be. I call it heavily meditated underscore AAH. It's searchable on the YouTube. # heavily meditated underscore AAH. And it's the simplest form of meditation. It's an awareness of the breath that creates an awareness of the right now moment. And when you're aware of the right now moment, of what you have power over, it's truly only you, right? You only have control over you. Luckily, you have complete control over you, but you only have to do it right now, so that makes it pretty simple. Because right now is just an ever-evolving state of consciousness and awareness, and you only find that when you're calm. But when you're in a conscious state of the right now moment, you're able to make choices to align with what you want to create in your life in a way that is going to align with what you want. And again, for me, I choose health, happiness, peace, and abundance. And in whatever way that like in my abundances, I have an abundance of time because I'm not working a job and I'm not paying for an apartment and I'm not paying for a lot of utilities and I'm not paying for a lot of the things that a lot of people are paying for, and they're spending all of their time to pay for these things. I mean, my phone that I'm making this video on, it was just $100 cheapie from Walmart. I mean, it works, right? And it functions most of the time. So that's a better idea than spending $1,000 a year on a new device. So, and if you like that, then that's what you should do. But is it serving you? That's what we have to ask. Is it serving you, or are you serving it? So, anyway, that's what I got to say about that.